It's not on. Hold on. Okay. How about that? Now is the microphone on? Do we have microphone again? I think we're good. I can see the microphone moving. So I'm going to guess that the microphone's working. Oh, I need to put all of this stuff to do not disturb just forever. Just until I say otherwise. Same for you. Do not disturb. All right, cool. Thanks for that random email, Democratic National Party. All right, are we good? Do we have video? Do we have audio? Can you see me? Can you hear me? I won't know if you can hear me because I haven't said anything. I haven't typed anything. Ronfred says we're good. All right. I'm going to assume that that's what Ronfred is responding to. So, sounds like we're good. All right. Hey, everybody. It's been a while. It's been like 6 weeks, I want to say. Something like that. I went to Pi, Ohio, which was amazing. And then I was on sabbatical for a few weeks. And now I am back. But I have some bad news. I'm here this week. I'm here next week. And then that's it. I've taken a new job. So I will not be at Treehouse any longer. Which means I won't be doing these weekly live streams for Treehouse. Yeah, it's tough. It sucks. I've been at Treehouse for 3.5 years, so it's pretty comfortable. But, yeah, new things. I won't necessarily say better things, because I don't know yet, but new things, and that's cool. But you still have tons of Treehouse material out there. You still have tons of other people who will be live streaming, I hope, fingers crossed, that will bring you great and amazing live streams and material. So, on that, and that's assuming that you don't follow me on Twitter where you would have already seen this, because I brought it all up yesterday, that this was happening. But we got 2 more weeks, this week and next week, and we're going to build something cool. Now, I got to bring up another thing, which is one of my kids was sick last night. So I was at the hospital, and it was like midnight before I got home and in bed. So I may not write very good code today. We'll find out how good of code I can write when I haven't had more than about 5-ish hours of sleep, 5.5. So we'll see. But this week I want to try something that people have been asking for a long time, both as they wanted me to do it as a course on Treehouse, and they wanted it for live streams. And I don't know much, anything. I have, you see this page that's here? I have skimmed this page twice now. So that's how much I know about Kivy. But we're going to try Kivy. So Kivy is a cross-platform GUI library that will let you build stuff. So you can build like mobile apps, you can build games, you can build desktop apps. So we're going to try and build something from Kivy. So yeah. Okay, we'll address chat for a minute. There's a lot of people asking why I'm leaving. We're not going into any of that. It's not important. It's just time for me to move on. That was my decision. Thank you though for the kind words. I'm glad that y'all enjoy my content. I love that you all like my content. And send me tweets, send me, messages. I will happily chat and talk about whatever. Just not this on air. Okay, so Kivy. We're gonna do Kivy. So what I want to try and do, first of all, I just want to get like a window to show up. I don't even care what's in there. We'll follow a guide for that. But so then my idea was one of two things, and maybe we'll get to build both of them. I don't know. We'll find out. So the first thing I want to try to build is like just a to-do list or maybe a Pomodoro app. So something where I have X, Y, and Z that I want to do, and then I can check them off to mark them as done. Or I put in a task and it runs a timer for me for 15 minutes, and then I get a break, right? So one of those two things, I don't know which. And then the second one is like a tracker for like new parents. When you're a new parent, especially when you're a new mom, and you're breastfeeding, it's often very difficult to remember which side your kid fed on last. And then you want to keep track of like when you changed diapers and when the kid pooped and, you know, things like that. So maybe we'll do a tracker for something like that. Or maybe a tracker for like if your kid's sick, hey, like the last time they were sick or had a fever or whatever. We'll find out. Let's just start with the to-do thing. Well, let's start with a window. Then we'll try the to-do thing, and then we'll see what comes after that. I got to turn this music down a little bit. It's really loud in my ears. Okay, so let's see if we can get Kivy. So first of all, Kivy has a lot of installation steps. So I gotta shrink you down, PyCharm. I'm gonna move that over there too. So let's go to settings, and let's go to project and project interpreter, and let's install some packages. Excuse me. So it looks like we need docutils. You know what? Let's just try this. Let's try, we additionally offer Angle, which can be used instead of glue and can be installed with that. Let's just see what happens if we just try to install Kivy. So I'm just going to install Kivy. Just that's it. Let's just do Kivy and just see what comes out. Because I would imagine it's going to install the other things too, right? Like, surely. We'll figure this out. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. Sumyajit Day? You want me to say your name? Okay. I did my best there. And then Unessa Soft is from Algeria. I think you're the first Algerian I have seen in chat. So welcome. That's pretty cool. That's neat. That's awesome having you there. Yeah. So then, yeah. I wish I could do something to make chat a little bit nicer, but whatever. Okay, so that installed Kivy. So let's see what all got installed. So we're looking for pigments, and there's pigments. We're looking for PyPI Win32, which that didn't come in, so we'll install that. Kivy Deps SDL2, that didn't come in. Kivy Deps Glue, that didn't come in. Docutils came in. Deps GStreamer, we can ignore GStreamer if we don't need it. Alright, so let's add a couple others here that we know we need. So that was, what, PyPI Win32, which is Python for Windows extensions. Let's install that. Yeah, Marine, totally. Let's just install and see what happens. That is a huge amount of development, especially with, like... So, yeah, like with Python, so much stuff is in third-party extensions. I mean, the core library is full of stuff. The core library is amazing, but you often need these other little things. And then Kivy.deps. Okay, so man, I really wish I could do like. I wish I could just pick a couple of those to install. But yeah, like quite often you're just like, okay, let's install this package and see what it does. You know, maybe it'll install something and maybe it won't work at all. Maybe it'll just die. Okay, and then SDL2. Tuberbyte, can I teach you? I mean, I'll do my best. You gotta put in the work, but you know, I'll tell you what I know. I don't know if we need GStreamer or not, but we'll install it real quick. It shouldn't take too long. Vedran has asked if I'm going to another school. What am I going to do? I'm not going to another school. I'm actually going to go be a full stack web developer for a company. I will eventually name that company, but not in this realm. That's not the right place to do it. But I don't have to shave for the new job. No. That's kind of a prereq. I'm like, going to interview, very first question, am I going to have to shave for this job? And if they're like, yes, then I just turn and walk back out. I don't even ask that question, because it's actually illegal for anyone to require you to shave for a job. At least in the US. But, you know, whatever. So yeah, so let's get GStreamer installed here. This may take a little bit because GStreamer is a larger package. And what's funny is I don't remember what GStreamer even is. Pipeline-based multimedia framework links together a wide variety. Okay, whatever. We're just gonna install it and just see what happens. We'll get the stuff installed that we need to install, and then we should be able to go run the very basic. There we go. The very basic Kivy stuff. So we have Kivy installed. So now we got that. A first app. All right, let's check out their docs for a first app. They want me to build Pong. Let's not build Pong. Let's just try this. Right? That's a nice, simple, like... a nice, simple thing. The package installs are lagging. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Because, unfortunately, I only have so much internet. So, you know. So, from Kivy.app, import app. So, that's going to be our like, app wrapper. From Kivy.uix, .button, import button. And then class test app def build return button text equals hello world, and then we do test app, we instantiate it, and then we call run on it. All right, and if I run that, check it out, I got one giant button that says hello world. All right, we're done, y'all. That's it. We're all done. Bye. See y'all later. No, that's not it at all. All right, so that gives us a button, and that's cool. What's really neat, and I have no idea how to do this yet, is this part. So whatever we build in Kivy, we can then run on, like, we can compile it for other platforms, and we can run it those places. So, if we want to build, say, a to-do application that we can use on our phones, we can go write it in Python in Kivy, and then we can compile it for Android or iOS or Windows Phone or whatever. I'm assuming Windows Phone. It probably doesn't actually support that as a target. But we can compile it for all these things, and then we can put it onto those platforms. So, cool. We obviously have it working, so we're going to close the installation. I don't know how much I want to even bother with this. I kind of just want to, like, go play with a thing. Application built from a KV file. Widget animation. Hey, Tuberbyte, keep it nice. We don't need a bunch of just crap in the chat. Kivy basics. Let's try that. Okay, we have it installed. Creating an application. Okay, so we built an application. We built. So we did it with a label, not with a, or we did it with a button, not with a label. Okay. So, so we bootstrap the thing, start, it calls run, that calls build, that calls on start, that runs any app functions, do whatever we have to do there. Okay. Okay. We got the basic idea there. So def build, that's here. I can't highlight text inside of an image. Build here is this build here. So we have our app, and then it calls the build function, or build method inside of our app. Okay. That's pretty straightforward. And then, yeah, we should do if name is equal to main, then test.app.run. Okay. So that's how we run, which we already knew that. We got that. Aha, here's closer to what I'm looking for. Okay. So let's try this part out. Let's try this login screen. So, okay. We've got a bit more stuff to import. So, let's see how smart PyCharm is with Kivy. So let's do this login screen, which is a grid layout. And then we're going to initialize that. And we'll let it take kwargs. So we're going to super it. All right. And then we set our number of columns, which in this case is going to be 2. And then we're going to add a widget. So I'm guessing the add widget is a specific feature to layouts. So we're going to add a widget. We're going to add a label with the text of username. Why is that 2 words there? That's definitely weird. And then we're going to add self.username is a text input where it is not multi-line. And then we're going to add another widget, which is username. Okay, so we're doing that so we'll have access to the value later, I'm sure. So, okay. And then self.add widget label text equals password. Let's make those consistent. And then we're going to duplicate those. So password. So this is an interesting choice. Like, let's talk about design of programming for a minute. So we have a text input, right? Which is going to take text. Now, it's not uncommon for us to have text that we want to have shadowed, right? To where the text input's actually hidden and we have something else that's going on top of it. So if you have that shadowed one, do you make a new kind of text input called password input that is already shadowed, like always shadowed? Or do you do it like this, where you can pass in password equals true to a text input? That's up to y'all as software designers in the future. All right, so let's yeah, I'm gonna follow their advice here of naming this my app instead of test app, because test app is kind of weird. And they are just returning an initialized version of login screen. All right, so we'll save that, and then we'll go up here and we'll try to import all of these things. That's the right one. Cool, good job. Kivy UI, yep. And that one, yeah, cool. It knew where to find them all. All right, so let's give that one a try. And we have, check that out, y'all. So username, oh, and I can tab in there. That's not good. And a password. All right, those are a thing. Hey, Tuber, bye. All right. So let's cancel that. Okay, grid layout, blah, 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 and we get a really large one. So we got, like, a huge screen there. Let me see if I can resize that screen. Cool. All right. So we can resize it, and the grid resizes as it should. Okay. 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 That's what we want. That's good. Right? That's the right way of doing that. Okay. I don't want any of those. What do I want? Input management? Motion event, touch events, coordinates, touch shapes, double tap, triple tap. So much stuff. Let's look at widgets. Let's see what widgets we've got. There is a ton of stuff in here. Okay, so we get a box layout. All right, well, let's see if we can nest things. So we have our login screen that has the username and the password and blah, 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 right? Okay, so let's try adding a new one. Let's just call this, like, layout. And it'll have a grid layout. Definite, self, quargs, super, quargs, self.calls equals 2. I don't know that I necessarily need the 2, but I'm going to do the 2, just to have it. So, self.add widget. Let's do a label. And text equals welcome to my app. Actually, self.calls equals 1. This shouldn't even really be a grid layout, but that's fine. Actually, let's play with this one. Let's do this one as a box layout, which we will have to import. Okay, so we probably don't have calls in box layout. Okay, so we're going to add a widget to the top that says welcome to my name, and then let's do self.add widget login screen. And then self.add widget label text equals copyright 2017 me. Okay, so then this will just be layout. And let's give that a run. Okay, so I was thinking top to bottom, but apparently it's next to each other. Okay. Cool. It's really weird to me that there's not, like, organize with layouts. There we go. All right. Box layout arranges in an adjacent manner, either vertically or horizontally. Size hint can be used to change proportions. Okay. Grid. Blah, 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 blah. Box. I want to know all the details of box layout. Where's all the details of box layout? Why don't you tell me how to do it? Aha! Orientation. Self.orientation equals vertical. Alright. Let's try that. Oh, cell. That should be self. There we go. Welcome to my app is there. Those two boxes, gigantic boxes, are right there. And the copyright is down there. And if I make it taller, then I get bigger boxes, smaller boxes. Okay. The Fleischen asks, what is the super line doing? What does this line here do? So, the init, the double underscore init method, gets called whenever we initialize a new instance of the class. So when we make, right here, when we make a new instance of layout, Python calls the init method. So the init method, of course, goes top to bottom. And when it gets to here, it goes, okay, what's the super class, if any? What class does this class inherit from? What's the parent of this class? Which in this case is box layout. So this line right here goes and runs box layouts dunder init method. So whatever box layout does in dunder init, that gets run there on line 23, and then it comes back to us and we do our code below that. So it's a way for us to make sure that the normal initialization happens, and then and then we can do whatever we need to after that. Okay, so let's try adding here size hint y equals 0.5. What are you complaining about? Unexpected argument. Oh, because that goes on the label, not on the add widget. Okay. Look at that. That got a much smaller area. Okay. Size hint y equals 0.25. Let's make that one even smaller. Yeah, okay. I see that question. I will answer it in just a second. Yeah, there we go. All right, nice and small. So datdev asks, what about the example that you see? Did I? Yeah. What about the example that you see in, say, where did that go? I can't find an example that looks like that now. Of course not. But what about when it's super and then it has a class name and then self? So it looks like this. Super layout self. Right? What about that? So that is the Python 2 version of the exact same thing. So in Python 2, you had to explicitly specify what class you were calling super on and what the instance of that class was. So self is always our instance because that's the name we all choose to use as Python developers. And so we would pass in self. Now, of course, if I called this, you know, foo and foo, that would be fine. It doesn't really matter. I would just have to change all of those to foo instead of just those two. And then you tell it the class name before that. So the reason that they got rid of this in Python 3, or they made it optional in Python 3, is because you always did this. You literally always had super class name self. Everyone did it the exact same way every single time. So if that's the case, why? Just, we know that's what we want to do, right? Now, I could get fancier, right? Like, second parent. And maybe I only want to call second parents init. Things like that are totally possible. They're totally viable. That may not be a perfect example. Don't go out and immediately type this, but you get the idea. You can call super on like a specific thing. What would make more sense in that case, though, would be to do something like second parent. What? Dot init self quargs. Yeah, that would make more sense. That would call that init. But just yeah. Don't try and get too fancy with your inheritance and your manipulation of what things get initialized when. It just leads to a lot of headaches. Like, so many headaches. Okay, so we figured out that part. I want to see if I can do the same thing here. And this would be what? Size hint x equals 0.25. I want to see if that will shrink our grid a little bit. It 100% did not. Okay. So that means that's going to depend... Oh, I didn't want to do that. That's going to depend on what kind of stuff grid layout... At least one dimension of the grid, so Kivy can compare the size of the elements and how to arrange them. But can I tell it what to do for grid layout? Because I want to make some of the columns in the grid smaller. Ah, okay. Okay, cool. So here's what we can do. So let's come back up here. And we can't do this. But we can do... see, I'm going to put this on a new line, mostly so y'all can see it. So we could do... self.force row force default equals true. And self.row default height equals 400 or 40. Let's not do 400, let's do 40. Okay, and so then in here we could do size hint x is none, width equals 100. Let's just do that and just see what comes out. We can add more into this if we need to. Okay, so we kind of got something that makes sense. Oh, but I guess since this one's wide. Okay, so let's do the same thing. Let's just copy all of that. And paste and password. Okay. And then let's see what that... Aha! Check that out. So that makes a lot more sense. We made them a little smaller, right? Okay. So, what about on all the layouts? Can we... What is this? UIX. I normally hate, absolutely hate, API browsers like this, but you know what? Sometimes they give us the thing that we want. So I just kind of want like padding. Just kind of want like some padding to this. Can I do some padding? Oh, okay. So I could do... Okay. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. But let's see about... Well, you know what? We've got a good thing to start with, right? So we've got two things. So now let's see if we can take the input that comes through one of those and like display it somewhere. So we've got widgets, input management. I don't remember if I saw anything here that I really cared about. On touchdown, touch events, double tap. I just want like, what happens when I press enter? Is that in events maybe? Oh wait, let's look at nesting layouts. Yeah. That's not what I wanted. Okay, you didn't do what I wanted. Events and properties. That's what I was going to click on. Okay. Trigger. No, wait. Widget events. Widget touch event. That's not what I want. Event dispatcher. Callbacks. Callbacks. Okay. So. Okay. We need to add a button. There needs to be a new button. Self.add widget. Label. Text equals nothing. Size hint x equals none. Width equals 100, I guess. Self.add widget button. Text equals login. See if that works. Yep, there's our login button. Okay, cool. So I think I want to add that as a thing. So self.login button equals button. Text equals login. And we want to add self.login button. And let's add a thing onto here. Let's do size hint x equals 0.5. Well, that didn't work. None width equals 80. I just want to make it a little thinner. There we go. That's cool. Those are still ridiculous. Not that. I want to do that here. Width equals 200. And let's make this one 100. Width equals 200. Probably have to do the size hint. Size hint x equals none. Same thing there. Okay. Not great, right? But we got something. Okay. Cool. So now I want to see what happens if I put something in there and I click that login. So let's make a function up here. Def let's do it here. Def button pressed self value args print value args. Wait, not star args, just args. And let's put that here on this button. Man, every time I say it, I want to do the whole button, who's got a button thing. Shouldn't do that, though. Okay. Trigger events. I don't really want a trigger event. I just want a thing to happen when I push a button. Do I have to define? That seems silly. To use events, you have to bind callbacks to them. When the events dispatch, your callbacks will be called if the parameters are not specified. Callback can be any Python callable, but you ensure it accepts the arguments that the event emits. Okay. Pranjal, I won't be doing these after September 22nd. Sorry. There will be other teachers doing them, I hope. We'll find out. I don't know if anybody's gonna do them or not. I really hope they do, but I don't know if they will. Puppy, quick question: Be doing in JavaScript streams? Probably not. I'm gonna have to be learning JavaScript for my new job. So maybe once I know enough about it. But right now, no. I don't plan to. Login button dot bind on press equals self dot button pressed. What? No. Okay. So button pressed just gives us the value and the args. I guess we'll see what that does. Bund. That's true. It is not bund. It is bind. All right. So login, and we get that, and we get nothing there. Cool. That's what I wanted. Okay. So that's the button. I actually want to see what's in self. Self should be the login screen, but let's make sure. Yep, login screen. Okay, cool. So now print self.username, print self.password. I really don't care about the value or the args, so I can really just do this to there, because I don't care what those are. All right, so we'll put in something there and something there, and we'll hit login, and we get 2 text objects. Okay, so I'm gonna bet if I look at text input, then I'm gonna bet I can get the value. Somewhere? Is there a way I can get the value? Text input, allow copy, allow indent, background, background normal, border, canceling the copy, cursor, cursor blink, cursor color, cursor color, do redo, do undo, font name, font size. I just want the value. That's all I want is the value. Multi-line, padding, read only, scrolling. If I could turn off the tabbing, that would be nice. Text, use bubble, right tab. No? Can't do any of that. Let's see if we can just do that. It's worth a try, right? Username. Oh, that's annoying. Password. Has no attribute value. You know what? Let's do that. And let's run it with the debugger. Yeah, you have access. Go for it. Go for it. All right, let's just do username, login. Sweet, here we are. So let's look at self, and we want to look at self.username. And username has what? Auto indent, border, cursor, hint text, keyboard, okay, key codes and stuff. Size, text. There we go. So we don't want value, we want text, because that makes total sense. Why would we not want value? Okay. .text. .text. Run the app. Kenneth Love. Password. Login. Hey, look at that. There's Kenneth Love and password. So we were able to pull those back out. So great. That's awesome. I see a couple other questions here. Let's see. Pranjal, not going to talk about the new company. You want to know the best method to go about the documentation of a new technology. So do you want to know how to read the documentation of a new technology, like investigate it? Or do you want to know how to document something you've made? Let me know which one of those. And then you want to know if I'm going to come back to Treehouse later. Maybe? I don't know. There's a really good chance I'll do, like, guest courses occasionally. So I'd come back and teach a course, just as a one-off thing. I would be really surprised if I ended up coming back as, like, an employee again. Just because companies don't usually do that. But maybe. Who knows? Okay, so let's try doing one more thing here. And I want to do... let's do a thing up here. So username is equal to Kenneth Love. And password is equal to test password. Alright, so let's do this. Let's do username password equals self.username.text self.password.text. If username is equal to username and password is equal to password, then I want to do self.username.disabled equals true, and self.password.disabled equals true. Okay? I'm just checking to see how we can play with UI. So let's do Kenneth Love and password, which we know is wrong. Nothing happens. Okay. So then let's do test password. And they're both disabled now. That's cool. So we can change the UI through doing the stuff. All right, nice. So how to read the documentation? That's what you're asking for. So reading documentation can be really weird, right? Because, like, I don't know how many of you have explored the Java world, but lots of times, and I take this how you will, lots of times Java is very content to give you this right here and call it documentation. Okay? And I'm not saying it's not, right? Like, totally. This can totally be documentation. Most of the time, though, this is not good documentation. Because you have to go and you have to know where the thing that you want to use comes from. Like, I have to know it comes from providers or from modules or from tools. And I have to know that it's abstract view. And that's the thing I want to go look at. So I got to go look at abstract view. And then I got to click in there and I got to go read the stuff and hope that I got the stuff right when I read it. So that's not great documentation. This can be really hard to read because you spend a lot of time going back and forth trying to figure out if this is the thing I need to read, right? So if this is all the docs you have, I'm sorry. You're going to have a harder time learning from it, most likely, until you get comfortable. I'm fairly comfortable with Python code. I can usually figure out where something is. So this isn't too bad. But if I'm brand new, this is terrible. This is the worst. Their docs that they have here, though, like for these tutorials, you know what? We'll build the Pong game here in a minute. These aren't bad. These are pretty good. These are ones where I would say, like, you could pretty easily go read these docs and build the thing you want to do. So in those cases, you should go read these docs, read them through. Don't write any code. Read them. Come back, read them, write the code. Write the code yourself. Type it all out. Don't copy and paste. Type everything out. And then go back and try to break a couple of things and see what you can break, right? If you can break a lot of it, and then you can fix the thing you broke without pressing, like, you know, Control Z or Command Z, like, without undoing, then that's pretty cool. That's you've learned the thing. And by break it, I mean try to make it do something new, right? So we're going to build this Pong game. We're going to have 2 paddles. We're going to have a ball, right? Okay, that's easy. Then make it to where there's 2 balls, right? Or to where anytime your opponent scores a goal, it gives them 1 and removes 1 from you. So it may still work, but you're breaking it as far as you're making it not do the thing it was going to do before. Okay. So yeah, let's give this a try. Let's make a new directory. Let's call it Pong. And let's build the Pong game. Partly because this will also show us the Kivy language, which is cool. So we want to do that. Okay, so inside Pong, let's make a new file that we'll call app.py. And we'll try and do some of those breaking things too. So from kivy.app, import app. From kivy.uix.widget, import widget. Class Pong Game is a widget. And for now, we're just going to pass. Class Pong App is an app. And in the build step, we're just going to return the Pong Game. Pong Gong. Ooh. And then if name is equal to main, then we're going to do Pong app.run. Okay. Let's talk about another little bit of design here. That's really annoying. It would be so much nicer to be able to do that. Why isn't Pong app why isn't Pong app.run a class method? Okay. So anyway, if we run this, then we get a black screen because we didn't do anything, right? Okay. Simple enough. Okay. So now we're going to make a new file inside here. And we're going to name it pong.kv. And that's just a text file. Okay, and so this file, it looks like this lets us do a lot of manipulation of. Pranjal asked another question, which is, what is virtual wrapper and virtual wrapper env? So I'm assuming you mean virtual env and virtual env wrapper. So virtual env is a thing in Python so that you can have separate installation of packages per project. That way, if one project uses Django 1.5 and another project uses Django 1.10, you can have both projects that live happily without having Django clobbering each other or having to be reinstalled over and over again. Virtual env wrapper is just a library that makes virtual env a little bit nicer to where you can do like work on and then the name of your virtual env and it will start that virtual env. You don't need virtual env anymore with Python 3.3 and up. And virtual env wrapper is not super, like, it's a great little tool, but I find myself not caring anymore. Okay. Kivy 1.0.9. I'm not sure what that stands for, but okay. Pong Game. Canvas. Rectangle. Pause, which I'm assuming is for position. Self.center x -5, 0. Size 10, self.height. If I can spell height. Okay. And then we have over here label. Font size of 70. Center x is root.width divided by 4. And the top is root.top minus 50. And the text is the string 0. And then we have another label. I feel like things are unaligned here. Anyway, font size is 70. Center x is root.width times 3 divided by 4. Top is root.top minus 50. And the text is again 0. Okay. From the up now, I should see a vertical bar. All right, well, let's try that. Let's try running our Pong app. Check that out. We got a vertical bar, which that's going to be this rectangle here. So we can see the position is the center -5. Center x minus... Oh, and then 0. 0 is up here. Okay. So we went to center x, we came back 5 pixels, and we went to the top, and then we made the size 10, so that goes 5 to 0, and then to +5, and then the entire height. All right. Cool. Simple enough. And then we have 2 labels, both at font size 70. Root width divided by 4, so we got this one, and then we got this one. And then the top was -50. So, all right. So we could change those a little bit. Those seem a little big to me. So let's do that. And then let's do, like, say, that. And let's run that again. Yeah, that looks a little bit nicer. Maybe? I don't know. I like it. Okay, so that let us run that. So let's see. This is so every KV file has to start with the #:Kivy, and then the Kivy version. Okay, that makes sense. So we're specifying here you have to be at least Kivy version whatever. So what Kivy version are we? We're at 1.10. So we could change that to be 1.10 to be our modern Kivy version. Okay, that's cool. We figured all that out. All right, so let's add the ball. So if we come back over here and we do class Pong ball, which is a widget. So let's set up the velocity. X is numeric property 0. And velocity y is numeric property 0. And we're going to have to import that. Okay, so that's our velocity on the x and on the y. Okay, and then velocity equals reference list property velocity x, velocity y. All right, so that lets us do like w.x, w.y kind of thing. The Fleischen, you want to know how to use Vim? So go into your terminal where you know you have Vim installed and run vim tutor. All one word, vimtutor. And it will teach you how to use Vim. It's really cool. It's really nice. Pranjal says, have you used Python and Django in a Windows system as commands, like creating a Django project through terminal, Windows command prompt from terminal in Mac? Any way to create Django projects without using terminal? Sure. So, they're really not that different. I think you use Django admin.py instead of just Django admin, something like that. I pretty much treat them all through PyCharm. PyCharm handles pretty much everything for me. So that's my best advice, is to use PyCharm. Yeah, if you use a different terminal, like you say Cygwin or what's that new one? Commander something. I can't think of the name. Search for alternate Windows terminal, you'll find stuff. Some of those are a little bit nicer with like Django's style commands. Alright, and then let's define our move method here. So we're going to take self.pause, and that will be set to a vector of the arguments from self.velocity plus self.pause. Or sorry, not arguments, but the things. Okay. Why is that complaining? Expected an iterable, got reference. Oh, it is an iterable. You just don't know it yet. Trust me, PyCharm. That's an iterable. Okay, so then come over here, and we want to make a new thing here. That is going to be Pong Ball. And we're going to say that it has a size of 50 by 50. It has a canvas, and for the canvas, it is an ellipse with a pause of self.pause and a size of self.size. Okay, let's run our app again. Do y'all see a ball? Oh, I see. We have to add the Pong ball in. All right. So let's move this up here. I don't know that it matters the order of these things, but I feel like I always feel like it's better to like declare these things beforehand. Okay, so now we're gonna add Pong ball as an element here, and the center is going to be self.parent.center. Okay, and let's run that. There's our ball. Isn't that exciting? Look at that. There's just a big circle hanging out in the middle of our screen. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now we're going to make the ball move. Okay, so we can use the clock. Okay, so let's add inside the Pong ball def update, and then dt. It's going to be the duration, I'm sure. So for now, we're going to pass on that. In the Pong app, inside build, we're going to do game equals Pong game clock dot schedule interval game.update 1.0 divided by 60.0. And you know what? I guarantee you that right there was because Python 2 we have to have floats to make a float. But we get a float automatically now, so it doesn't matter. And I realize now that this should be here, not up there. It's not the ball that's being updated, it's the game that's being updated. Okay. So now we have our Pong Game widget. And let's do ball equals object property, which is actually none. We're going to have to import that. And we need to import that. Okay. So then in update, let's do self.ball.move. If self.ball.y is less than 0, or self.ball.top is greater than self.height, self.ball.velocity y should be reversed. So multiply by -1, move it the other way. If self.ball.x is less than 0, or self.ball.right is greater than the width, self.ball.velocity x should be reversed. Okay? So, if the ball tries to go off the top, or it tries to go off the bottom, then turn it the other way, right? Or if it tries to go off the left side, or it tries to go off the right side, make it go the other way. Simple enough. So now, back over here, inside Pong Game, we need to add ball is Pong ball. Then we have our canvas, we have our labels. Let's add a line below there. And then inside Pong ball here, we're going to do ID is Pong ball. Okay, but right now the ball's velocity is set to 0 on both x and y. So let's add this, which is our serve ball method. So that goes into our game. So we put it exactly in the middle. And then we're going to make a vector. And we're going to rotate with a rand int between 0 and 360. So let's import rand int. And then after we start the game, we call game.serveBall. So that would give us a chance to, like, if we wanted the ball, or if we wanted people to be able to, like, hit a button to say they were ready to play, then we could do that so that we're waiting on something to come up. So cool. So that time the ball was here and it moved that way. Let's launch it again and we should see the ball. Yep. So we get another direction. One more time. Yep. It's just going to go back and forth. It's kind of boring. Makes kind of a nice clock, though. I had a screensaver that was a clock like that once. Okay. So, I think we're good. All right. So, any questions about Kivy or the game that we're doing? Sorry, I'm getting just a ton of messages here. I want to see. Okay, nothing important. Okay, any questions about that stuff? No? Okay, cool. So, let's add a new thing. Let's add our widget, or our paddle. Score is numeric property 0. Bounce ball. If self.collide widget ball. So if this thing hits the ball, speed up is equal to 1.1. So we speed it up just a little bit. And then we calculate a new vector for the ball to be going. So we hit the ball, doot, 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 moves around, right? Okay. So they add a little bit more in here. So let's see what they're doing here. So we've got Vx and Vy is ball.velocity. So we're just pulling out those two values. Offset is equal to ball.centerY minus self.centerY divided by self.height divided by 2. Oh, such bad. Bounce equals vector minus 1 times Vx and then Vy, whatever that is. Velocity is going to be bounced times 1.1. And ball.velocity is going to be vel.x, vel.y plus offset. Which means we don't need any of those things anymore. Okay. So then, down here in Pong Game, we make our ball, and then we're going to make our two players. So we'll say player 1 is a new object property, and player 2 is a new object property. Serve the ball, and then we'll bounce it off the paddles. And then we bounce it off the walls. Oh, but we just want to bounce it off the top and bottom. We don't want to bounce it off the left or right because that's how you score goals, right? So if self ball.x is less than self.x, self.player2.score is incremented by 1, and we serve the ball with a velocity equal to 4, 0. So that way we're serving the ball towards the other player. Okay. If self.ball.x is greater than self.width, so if it goes off the other side, self.player1's score goes up by 1, and we serve the ball the other direction. Now this on-touch move I don't know if that one's going to work or not. Let's give that a try, though. Let's see what happens. And the reason I say I don't know if that's going to work is because I can't touch anything except through the mouse. So if the touch.x is less than self.width divided by 3, then player 1 center y equals touch.y. And if we're on the other side, then player 2 center y equals touch.y. So we're just moving the thing around. Okay, and then we got to update our Pong. So we have a Pong ball. We don't have a Pong paddle, so let's add one of those in. So size is going to be 25 by 200. And for the canvas, let's do a rectangle where the pause is self.pause and the size is self.size. Player 1 is player left. Player 2 is player right. And so our labels here. So this first one is going to be the string of root.player1.score. And this one is going to be the string of player2.score. So then we have a Pong paddle, where this ID is player left. The x is root.x, so all the way over that way. And center y is root.center y. And then we have another Pong paddle. This one's ID is player right. The x is all the way over on the side. And the center y is the same. All right, let's see if this works. How many of you think it will actually work? Oh, check that out. Oh no! Unexpected keyword argument vel. Yeah. See, I saw that. Right? Serve ball vel. Oh, because they changed that. Okay. So serve ball now takes a velocity. That is that. I don't really like that. I would rather this be none. And we do that. Vel or that. Because that way the game starts off random. Oh no. But if... Well, I was trying not to score. There we go. But after the score is done, then it starts a new one. There we go. Cool. So, we made Pong. Congratulations, y'all. Yeah. So, that's cool. That's neat. But I said we were going to try and do another thing, right? We were going to try and do some sort of app. Now, I don't know if we'll actually be able to do the app or not. We also have less than an hour left. But let's give it a try. So, let's go back over here. Let's look at this app. And I don't really want any of those. I'm going to rename this. Rename playing around. Okay, so let's make a new file, and we'll call this todoapp.py. And we need to import. Let's just go ahead and import this stuff. We're not going to need all of this, but we'll need some of this. So we'll call this todoapp, which is our app. Def build. We're going to call to do layout. And that's it. And then if name is equal to main, then to do app.run. And we need to make class to do layout. And this will be a grid layout. Do we want a grid layout? We don't really want a grid layout. We just want, like... What do we want? Page layout? What's page layout? Oh, so we have multiple pages. That's kind of cool. That's not what we want, but that's kind of cool. Stack. Where stuff just gets stacked in. Nope. Float? Nope. Anchor. Ah. I think we want anchor layout. Okay, so this is going to be anchor layout. And for now, let's just do pass. We're not gonna worry about it. So I guess we can delete all those and just do that for now. All right, And if we run this, we get a black screen, just like before. Okay, cool. So I want to do a widget. Self.add widget, label text equals to do. And let's do anchor x self dot root That's not what I need. Label's not defined. That's right. Because we didn't import it. What? Object init takes no parameters. Okay. I'll agree with that. But so base is layout. Anchor layout. Anchor X is the horizontal layer. Anchor. Defaults to center. Defaults to center. Okay. I want this anchor Y to be equal to top. Anchor things to the top. Center is fine. Okay, and then padding. You know what? Let's do all this in here. Self dot anchor Y is equal to top. Self dot padding is equal to let's do 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay. And then we run it. Hey, Evgeny, my vacation is over. I can't see that thing if it got put in there. Wasn't that how we did it in the other one? No, we have to return it. That was how we did it. Cool. So there's to do. Now I need each thing that's in it. Oh, what's this action bar? Oh. That's kind of cool. We may have to play with that later. Sorry. Anyway. Okay. So anchor layout is what we were looking at. So right, bottom. Do I have, maybe I have to do it in here. Maybe this has to be anchor Y equals top. Padding equals 10, 10, 10, 10. And then we take it out of here. And then we run it. Still in the middle. Is it just the label is huge? Height equals 10. anchor x equals left. You're not helping me here. Size hint equals none, none. Hey, there we go. And now it's off to the side where we want it to be. Okay, so let's make a new file, and we'll call this todos.json. And it's going to be todos, and todos is going to be a list, and it's going to be a list of objects, and we'll have text is going to be get milk, and status is going to be 0 because it is not done. And then let's add another one where the text is shave, and the status is 0 again. Okay, so those are ugly, but we're going to leave those alone for now. Let's say import JSON. And so to do app, the thing we want the to do app to do okay, so let's add a new thing here. Let's see if there's some sort of like list item. Oh, there's storage, JSON store. Let's see what this is. Store implementation using a JSON file for storing the key value pairs. See the storage module. Documentation for more information. Modules experimental. Woo! Load store any number of key value pairs by an index key. The default model is abstract, so you can use a directory. So we can store dictionaries. We can store JSON. So we can store things in Redis. Okay. Okay, we'll come back to that because we might need that later. We don't need that right now though. So let's make a copy of that tab. Okay. I'm looking for the list thing. List adapter, that's deprecated. Okay, so let's not worry about that then. Core, we got clipboard, we got spelling, we got text. And it's not what I want. Text markup? What is that? Simple text markup. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I think we probably want one of these UI things. So we've got an action bar. Box layout. Checkbox. We may need that. List view. List view. I bet that's it. I bet that's what we want. It's deprecated. Use recycle view instead. Ah! Okay, recycle view is a flexible view providing a limited window into a large data set. See the module documentation for more information. Thanks. Data. The data used by the current view adapter. This is a list of dictionaries whose keys map to the corresponding property names of the view class. Data is an alias property that gets and sets the data used to generate the views. Key view class is an alias property that gets and sets the key view class. Yeah. Let's figure this out, right? Let's figure this out, y'all. We can do this. To do, make view caches specific to each view. Yeah, that's a good idea. Is there an example? There's not an example. Come on. Example. Where's an example? Okay. Toggle button. Let's try checking these out. I feel like that's stuff that I already saw. Let's just try using one. Right? Because what's the worst that happens? So self.add widget recycle view. Data equals so let's do this. Let's do self.data equals json.load open todos.json todos. Okay. Recycle view is not defined. That's true. I didn't import that. Okay. Okay, so we don't get them. They're not there. So we obviously need to do a bit more to this. Key view class. Okay, so let's try this. Let's try class to do view. Would be a recycle view. That seems like too much work. Okay. What are the view classes? We've got scroll view. We got all these things. We got tree view. Excuse me. We got stencil view, selectable view, scroll view. We got all kinds of things here. And what I'm looking for is, I feel like it's that one, but I feel like I already had that open. The adapter part of the recycle view, which together with the layout is the view part of the model view controller pattern. The view module handles converting the data to a view using the adapter class, which is then displayed by the layout. A view can be any widget-based class. However, inheriting from recycled data view behavior adds methods for converting the data to a view. Inheriting from recycle, that, okay. Okay, maybe. So let's try this. So this should be recycle view. And this told us what these things were supposed to be, right? So data is an alias property that gets and sets the data used to generate the view. So we're gonna handle that on init. I don't think we have to worry about that. I think that will handle itself. So key view class should be something. I don't even know what an alias property is. Let's find out what an alias property is. Create a property with a custom getter and setter. If you don't find a property class that fits to your needs, you can make your own by creating custom Python getter and setter methods. So the alias property gives us the things. Okay, so it's like an object property, kind of, sort of. Okay, so we need to know what the key view class for the current layout manager is. So let's look at. We got a lot of tabs open. Let's close some tabs. Okay. Now let's look at recycle view layouts. Layout that derives the life as compound section papers. I feel like I don't want one of those. Do I want one of those? FAM production. No, this is Python, but it's weird. Sorry, I'm trying to. I don't know what I'm doing. So that's what I'm doing. Is I'm trying to take something apart here. What I really wish is that I had like a thing where I could just go click a thing. I wish I had a thing where I could go click a thing. It needs like examples. Like, right? Each model determines how the data is stored and emits requests. Behavior. Let's go look this up. See if we can find any of this stuff. So, create a package for Android. To-do list. Okay, so we'll look at that. But we also want to look at recycle view. So Kivy to do recycle view. Because we specifically want to see how someone's using recycle view so that we can tell, like, if we're doing this in any way close to the right way. So let's look at these last two tabs first. Widget has been deprecated. Use that instead. I know that widget's been deprecated. Context, sure. Why do Django devs recommend using class-based views instead of function-based views when everything is so nested inside the framework and hard to debug? You have to dig deep and take a few steps back before you're able to move forward. Because once you understand class-based views, you can do a ridiculous amount of work in a really, really short period of time. And that's basically it. That's basically the entire reason for doing that. And I understand that that's not what everybody wants to do. But that's the way to do it. Like, that's the reason that we do it. So this is absolutely ridiculous that it's this amount of code for just such a tiny amount of stuff. Okay, but that one's not going to help me. Cycle view is a garden widget. It's not a garden widget, though. Not anymore. Yeah, that's the API. That doesn't really help. Yeah, Hellboy, you're about right there. Let's look and see what's listed here. It's not what I'm looking for, though. Gallery? Maybe the gallery. Maybe the gallery. So we want recycle view. Okay. So what is my opinion on class-based views versus function-based views? I much prefer class-based views. I can't even begin to tell you how much more I prefer class-based views to function-based views. That's a little closer to what I'm looking for. But that still doesn't really tell me anything. Come on, y'all. So that's that stuff. Yeah. Oh, don't do that. Okay, those make sense. So you're just adding, you've got the scroll view. This is an older way of doing it. Because this isn't doing the, I mean, that's only from a year ago, but it's not doing the newer thing. So, so yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, well, we might have to just not worry about this for right now. We might have to do some other stuff later. But I'll tell you what, let's do ask whatever Python questions you've got as I'm working on figuring my way out through some of this stuff. Give me your questions, and I will I'll do my best to answer them. So let me know what questions you have. It can be Python, it can be programming, just whatever. I'm happy to answer whatever questions you have while I do my best to figure out what it is I'm doing here. Tom Tucka asks the best way to learn Flask. So I can't say it's the best way, because I haven't explored all the ways that are out there to learn Flask. But Miguel Grinberg has this Flask mega tutorial, and it's really, really good. Now, I want to say this one is slightly out of date. There may be a few things in here that are not 100% up to date, but it's really, really good. And what's cool is he had a Kickstarter for it, which raised $15,000. That's amazing. And so that was really cool. So if you want, you can go and you can buy an ebook, or you can buy videos from him. And I do believe, yeah, so when it's done, he's going to put that out on his blog. So if you've got $10, drop him $10, read the ebook when it comes out, and you will learn as much Flask as you could possibly want. He's really great at that kind of stuff. If you're not interested in paying for it, somebody has a really good Flask tutorial, and I can't think of who it is now. I want to say there's a book from O'Reilly. Does that search O'Reilly? Let's find out if it does. Looks like it does. That's Miguel's book, but that's that more outdated one. I want to say somebody else had a really good Flask guide, and I can't think of who it is. Oh, maybe it's DB. DB Flask is not going to give me what I'm looking for. But there's a guy whose name is David Baumgold. Is that his name? Is that him? It is! Wow, look at that. I was so good. So, David Baumgold. He does a lot of Flask stuff, and I think he has a tutorial he's recently done about Flask somewhere. I could be wrong, though. But check out his stuff. You can go bug him on Twitter, and he can probably tell you some good places to learn Flask. He speaks a lot, as you can tell. He's done a thing for Treehouse. He did a course for Treehouse on S3, and I wanna... Yeah. So, anyway, go check him out. Evgeny, the Django Bookmarks app. I have currently no plans on the Django Bookmarks app. I think it's pretty much where it's going to stay. Yeah, I don't currently have any plans to add more to that one. Maybe we'll do that next week as the last week. I don't know. I was thinking of I have the very first live coding that we did on Treehouse was a geospatial aware Django blog. I was thinking about redoing that one as the last, since that was the first one, but it's only on my personal account. I was thinking about redoing that as the last Treehouse live stream for me on the official Treehouse account. But send me ideas. If y'all have something you would like to see me do for my last Treehouse live stream, please let me know, and I will I'll do my best to do them, because I want to build stuff y'all want to see. Kivy did not go nearly as well as I hoped it would. I had such high hopes for Kivy. I was like, it'll be so easy. It'll be great. We can just dive in and do it. And there's way more here that I need to learn before I can even hope to start building something with Kivy. But Kivy's neat. I have to admit, it's pretty cool. And I did not think it would be as simple as it was to get things running, because usually UI stuff, as Marine, as Posnifer, as those who have watched a lot of these episodes can tell you, it's often really hard to get things to run. But you know what? One last thing before we're done on this. I know we have like a super exciting app here. Let's see if we can do, let's see if we can create a package for Windows. Let's give this a try. I bet it won't work, but let's give it a try. Let's do this with Pong. So, I want to go edit configurations. I want to add a new configuration, which is going to be Python. And let's say this is build Pong for Windows. Okay, I got to move this over here so I can see it, which means I'm not going to be able to see your chat for a minute. So, the script that I want to run is that one. There are no script parameters, but my interpreter options are --name, Pong. That's all I need there, I guess. Oh no, wait, I need -m pi installer. Okay. Let's see if I can run that one and what that does. No module named pi installer. True. Let's install that. Import settings. Settings. Here. Pi installer. Install that package. So yeah, any last questions? We got about 9-10 minutes left. If you got questions, ask them now, because the chat takes a little while to come through. Okay, so there's that. So now let's try running that again. See what that does. Oh, something's unhappy. Okay, so it wrote the spec. Create a folder in which the package app will be created. For example, create a touch app folder and change that directory with cd touch app. Then so then do we have a spec file in here? We do. Okay. So from kivy.deps import sdl2 and glue. Then find collect and add the data for touch racer. Tree would be tree p for p in sdl2 dot dep bins plus glue dot dep bins. Okay, and then it says we can go over here and we can do python-m pi installer pong.spec. Still got an error. Okay, well, we'll try building it some other time. So I got another question from Sandip Gadvi. What do you guys say about Vue.js? So Vue.js. I like Vue.js. It seems like a really nice approach to component-based JavaScript thingamabobs. It seems really nice. I like it. I like it as well as I like React. Maybe a little bit better than I like React. Partly that's because of this right there, that it's released under the MIT license and not BSD plus patents like React is, which is a really... I can't say the words on the stream that I want to how I would describe any plus patents license, especially one like React, where you are no longer allowed to use React if you sue Facebook. I can go into that in a minute if y'all want me to. Let me know in chat. So for the licensing alone, I would pick Vue over React every single time. Other than that, Vue seems really nice. React is fine. I think I'd probably use Vue if I was building my own company website, you know, whatever. I'd probably use Vue instead. Evgeny asks, you said that next stream will be the last on Treehouse. Does it mean your partnership is over and we'll not see new videos no more, or is it just for live streams? So, you must have missed the beginning, but it's fine. I was going to bring this up at the end anyway. This week and next week are my last Treehouse live streams, because the week after that is my last week at Treehouse. I will no longer be a Treehouse employee, so I won't be streaming for Treehouse. I likely won't be streaming at all, or at least it will be very sporadic. If I do stream, it will be on my own YouTube channel or like Mixer maybe. It won't be on Treehouse's channel. You can find me pretty easily. I literally use the same Kenneth Love username everywhere. That's me on GitHub, that's me on Twitter, that's me on YouTube. It's not me on LinkedIn, surprisingly. There I am Kenneth Hate instead of Kenneth Love, because it's funnier. But yeah, so I'm leaving Treehouse. I'm going to another company, to a different job. So I won't be streaming anymore, and it's sad and it really sucks. But that's the way things go. So yeah. I thank you all for watching, not just today, but all the other days as well. It's been really great doing the live streams. So yeah. Follow me on Twitter, talk to me on Twitter, because I won't get to talk to you like this anymore after next week. So anyway, it is 2 minutes till noon. So unless anybody wants to hear me rant about why the Plus Patents is such a bad license, we're probably out of time. We're probably done for today. So yeah. Hey, Amar, how are you doing? I'm doing okay. I'm very tired. I was up till midnight or so last night, and I was up at like 5:30 this morning. So not a lot of sleep, and there's been a decent amount of stress lately. So I'm surprised I was able to write code. For those of you who were here when I was trying to write code, and you saw it really wasn't that great of code writing anyway, I am surprised that I got done what I did. Yeah, Amar, you'll need to go back and watch the beginning of the stream, or about 2 minutes before you came in, and you'll find out why. But yeah, so I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna end the stream for today. But thank you all for watching. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on wherever. Send messages on YouTube if you want. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you next week. A week from 2 hours ago. Cool. I'll see y'all then.